Hello, Seahawks, and welcome back to Seahawk Central. I'm Davis Bell with sports.
And I'm Emma Tillman with news. Up next, we'll give you a look into last weekend's Azalea Festival ribbon-cutting ceremony, a recap of courtroom star Camille Vasquez and her powerful story of representation, UNCW softball, soccer, and baseball. Last Friday morning, the Cape Fear Garden Club presented a ribbon-cutting ceremony held at the Keenan House, one of Wilmington's oldest homes, to kick off the city's 72nd annual Azalea Garden Tour. The Keenan House is home to each sitting UNCW chancellor, and Valetti and his family are seen in the front row preparing to witness the ceremonial ribbon cutting. Bethany Joy Linz, this year's Azalea Queen, cut the ribbon accordingly, signaling the start of this year's famously known self-guided garden tour. Friday through Sunday, the tour featured 10 beautiful gardens, and all proceeds from ticket sales will be distributed as grants for beautification projects across the county. I spoke with two juniors at New Hanover High School and first-time ambassadors for the ceremony. Here's how Borden Hooks and Alex Freddy feel about being a part of such a special event.
I'm Borden Hooks, and I'm here as an Azalea ambassador.
I'm Alex Ferretti, and I'm an Azalea ambassador as well.
Yeah, and you guys are at a local high school here. What high school and what grade?
New Hanover High School, 11th grade.
Cool. Same.
All right, well, how does it feel to be a part of such a huge event?
It's fun, you know, we've grown up around this event, so it's fun to be a part of it now. It's a cool tradition of our community, so.
Absolutely. Yes, it's really fun embracing the culture of the springtime here in Wilmington.
Yeah, and I'm curious about the prep work. Now, how long did you know you were going to be a part of it, and what did you have to do to prepare?
You know, we've known for a couple months. We did some rehearsals and information meetings, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. It was just a lot. It was a lot of work to get it prepared, but you know, it was worth it.
Yes, we've known for a few months now, and we've just had to go to some rehearsals over the weekends, and that's about it. Just show up at the gardens and do our part.
Yeah, and was there kind of someone that was guiding you through this process, and did they tell you like what it means to be an ambassador? Was there kind of like a deep meaning for that?
Yes, we had a couple mentors. They're older ladies. They're really nice. They did a lot of hard work to help set us up. But I think they just thought it was cool to be an ambassador, especially now that they include guys in it. I think it's a cool addition that makes it really diverse and fun and stuff.
Yes, over the past couple of years, there hasn't been a lot of guys. There was, I think, only 3 guys last year, but we tripled that number this year. So hopefully there's a lot of more males to take the role as an ambassador as well for years to come.
The Cape Fear Garden Club also celebrated their 100th anniversary this year, and as one of NC's oldest and largest garden clubs, the centennial celebration marks a century of growth, community impact, and blooming tradition. Now let's turn to Stephanie, who got the chance to speak with the woman behind one of the most talked about trials in recent history.
When a powerful voice comes to campus, inspiration follows. Last week at UNCW, we had the honor of welcoming renowned attorney Camille Vasquez, famously known for the national attention she captured with Johnny Depp in her win on the Depp v. Heard case. Vasquez didn't just share her story, she made an impact. I had the opportunity to attend a discussion forum in Centro Hispano where the conversation was just as powerful as her presence. Here's a bit on what Vasquez shared.
During these formative years, and they are formative, right? University, law school, I think we spend so much time making sure we get good grades and get, you know, into the best law school, and we work really hard and graduate and get that job. And that's very important. But I think that something that maybe isn't focused on as much is start building your relationships. Start building your network. And you start now at university. And, you know, some of the advice I give to younger lawyers in my line of work, because I work for a big law firm, and it's all about clients and the clients that you bring in and your book of business. Your clients are going to be your friends. Your friends are going to be your clients. So start building your network now. Because the people in this room are going to become CEOs, they're going to become presidents, they're going to own their own businesses, they're going to become lawyers working in-house at a company, and they're the people that are going to be your clients, or you're going to be their client, right? So start building your network now. And especially in a professional environment, professional school, if you go to law school, business school, definitely cultivate and spend time cultivating those relationships. And also spend time trying to find mentors and people in your lives.
Vasquez has become a symbol of strength and representation, especially for the Hispanic and first-generation community. Her story is one that deeply resonated with many of us here at UNCW. After a reception which only people with VIP tickets were invited to, we headed to the lecture in Keenan Auditorium, where Joandy Martinez Reyes had the opportunity to be the student speaker that invited Camille Vasquez to the floor. Here's a couple words from Martinez himself.
Being the student speaker for Camille Vasquez gave me the opportunity to speak with her individually about all of the obstacles that she had to overcome to get where she is today. And I think she's truly an inspiration for really anybody who can look up to her. You know, being a Latina and being a woman in her field, it is so great to see someone as successful as she is in a field that is primarily dominated by white men.
Martinez also added that this leadership lecture series event was an embrace of women's endearment and a celebration of Hispanic culture. After the lecture, Camille Vasquez took time to speak to each and every one who came up to her and gladly took photos with anyone who asked. Here's more from Camille Vasquez herself on her career, passions, and more.
So I think one of the most rewarding career achievements that I had, yes, it was winning the Debt Be Heard case, but it wasn't the fact that we won that case just to win the case. What was the most rewarding part of it was being able to give Mr. Depp, a client, his life back and his good name back. It wasn't just a win in court. It meant so much more to him as a man, as a father, as an individual. And that is why I do what I do and why I love what I do, is to be able to help solve people's problems when they come to me. My clients are my friends, and they're people that I care very deeply for, and I want to do right by them. Such an honor and privilege to represent my clients and be their advocate and be their voice. And I don't take that responsibility lightly. I know that I'm in an incredibly privileged position to do what I get to do every day for a living. When I look in the mirror, I see a real advocate, and I get to earn money doing what I know I was born to do. And that's what I love about what I get to do.
Vasquez had nothing but loving parents who pushed her to become the woman she is today. She is an empathetic and inspiring professional, and one thing that she stated that stuck with me was, if you are the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room, because you should always try to surround yourself with people that you can learn from. Now back to Emma.
Thanks, Stephanie. Davis, what is new with sports?
Well, Emma, this week Seahawk athletics have been very busy, with baseball and softball both playing big games and some more spring soccer to discuss. But let's kick things off with Reese.
Thank you, Davis. We had a very exciting week of softball. 2 of the 4 games this week were decided by 1 run, and we celebrated our military and those who served over the weekend. The week started off on Wednesday when the Seahawks hosted number 16 ranked Duke Blue Devils. The game's star pitcher was Haley Schuler, who only gave up 1 hit the entire game. That 1 hit came from Morgan Britt as the Seahawks suffered a 9-0 loss in 6 innings. The Seahawks then opened up a 3-game weekend series over the Delaware Blue Hens, and it was Military Appreciation Weekend. Friday's game was not the ideal start to the weekend as the Seahawks were hoping for, as they fell 5-0 in the first game. Delaware's pitcher Billy Kerwood only allowed 4 hits, with Madison Biddle having 2, Maggie Purty having 1, and Avery Daughtry having 1 as well. Saturday's game, though, was a bounce back for the Seahawks as they escaped with a 3-2 win, with all 3 runs coming in the first inning. The Seahawks also wore specialty red, white, and blue jerseys for Military Appreciation Weekend. Allison Corbin had a 2-run RBI and 1 hit, and Maggie Purty had an RBI and a hit as well. Sunday's game was another close one, but going to the Blue Hens this time. Delaware came away in this close game 6-5. Every inning except the 7th inning had scoring from either team. Morgan Britt hit a 2-run homer in the first inning to get us off started. The catcher for the Blue Hens, although, was not very happy with this. As you can see, she started pushing the team as they went out to celebrate the home run, which started off the game with tension. Mackenzie Amadeo had a 2-run RBI, 2 hits to end off the weekend. Allison Corbin got 2 hits as well, with Morgan Britt having the standout performance with 1 home run, 2 RBIs, and a single run as well. The Seahawks' next game will be on Tuesday, April 15th, where they will host the North Carolina Tar Heels. And now to Marie with soccer.
Thanks, Reese. UNCW men's soccer took home the dub in Harry's game Saturday night against High Point. Sophomore William Ampofa put the Seahawks on the board 7 minutes into the game with a nice shot into the right corner of the net, making the score 1-0. With 10 seconds left in the first half, High Point junior Brendan Kruger tied up the game, but junior Brian Marario responded soon after halftime to give the Seahawks the lead back. High Point hit the toy department for the last time to tie the game once again, but senior Jack Clarkson scored the game's final goal in response. 90 minutes of play later, your UNCW Seahawks beat the Panthers 3-2 in the 11th annual Harry's game, leaving them undefeated since its genesis in 2013. Tune in this Saturday for the championship game against the South Carolina Gamecocks. Now here's Dylan with the Seahawks Slugger.
Thank you, Marie, and welcome back to the Seahawks Slugger. I'm Dylan Thompson. We've got a quick recap of some Seahawk baseball as well as what's coming up next for them as conference play continues. The Seahawks kicked off their week strong yet again with another matchup against the ECU Pirates. It was a slow start for the Seahawks as they started on the plate down 4 runs early. The score would quickly become tied up at 6 apiece late in the 8th. 2 RBIs from Aiden Evans, a homer from both Matt Gillespie and Riker Galaska took this game to extra innings. However, extra innings were not friendly to the Hawks as the Pirates rallied in 4 late runs, which was enough to handle the Hawks the 10-6 loss in 10 innings. Traveling with the Hawks for the weekend, they took to Long Island, New York for their CAA matchup against Hofstra. Friday was a doubleheader matchup but was no challenge for the Seahawks. In the first game, hitters were on their game. Trevor Lucas, Tanner Thatch, and Cole Nelson were huge contributors at the plate, combining for 7 total RBIs. Riker Galaska and Bryden Ardent put their name in the hat as well, totaling 4 RBIs. Pitchers Zane Taylor and Trace Baker combined for 9 strikeouts and allowed 4 runs, which was not enough to keep up with the Hawks, who took Game 1 with a 12-4 final. Game 2 took place less than an hour after, but was not enough to hold back this team. Despite being down 2 runs through 4 innings, Trevor Lucas and Tanner Thatch tallied 3 RBIs each, along with 3 other separate Seahawks with their own RBI for a combined 9 unanswered runs. 8 total strikeouts and 7 total hits from Aubrey Smith and Connor Marshburn were enough to keep Hofstra off the board with a 9-2 Game 2 win for the series. The Hawks would finish the week off in New York with a loss in Game 3 after being down 5-0 early, as it was too much to overcome as they fell to a 16-16 record overall with a 4-5 record in conference. Looking ahead for the Seahawks, they will be back at Brooks Field this weekend after the early matchup against Coastal Carolina. The team welcomes William & Mary with a chance to improve their conference record. As we round third and head home for this conclusion of Seahawks Slugger, be sure to check out the Insta for news and updates with this week's games, such as highlights, key plays, and interviews. That's all I've got here on the Slugger. Stay safe and go Hawks.
Thank you, Dylan. And that wraps up this week's episode of Seahawks Central. If you have any newsworthy stories, email us at seahawkscentralnews@gmail.com.
And as always, follow at Seahawks Central Sports _UNCW on Instagram for all our updates and exclusive content. I'm Davis Bell with sports.
And I'm Emma Tillman with your news. We'll see you next week.